Hello, this is Garlic with the livingnessproject.com, and I wanted to talk in this video about anthropomorphism. If you're not familiar with what that is, the term anthropomorphism tends to be used as an accusation, often by the scientific community, on folks like myself who see the world as alive, sometimes referred to as animistic. So in this video, I'm going to explore a little bit about why that's messed up, and what we can do, and why we need to replace that. So the first thing to consider is actually where I already started, which is that it tends to be used, this term is as an accusation. Somebody points a finger. Certainly I get it a lot because I teach people how to talk to plants, how to see the world as alive, and that being an important part of the healing process. But aside from it being an accusation, I also want to honor the doubt that comes, that's expressing, is what I mean to say there. However, still I think that it's messed up, because when you look at how people have, where that accusation is usually flung, usually directed towards non-Western people and indigenous peoples, towards the pagans and the witches and the earth-based religions. And usually, we're told we're anthropomorphizing if we see emotion, if we see kinship in the livingness of the world. And I just don't think that it's true. I think that there is an issue with, maybe it's the term anthropomorphism, anthro meaning human, that first part of that word meaning human, where when I see a tree, when I see these vines around me on the ground here as alive, as intelligent, I'm actually not looking at them through an anthropocentric lens. I'm not looking at them as they relate to human. I am seeing, it's actually the other way around. I'm seeing myself in them. And I think this is a really important shift to start this process, or to come back to this place about how we can be humble and show humility in our relationship with the living world. And it really deepens our relationship with plants. And so understanding that the background, the history of the use of this word actually stems from this colonial place, because it's a threat to the ideas of human dominance, which have scientific and religious roots, is that humans are here to terraform the world, to change it as we will. And some of us call bullshit on that the world exists not to serve humanity, but that humans are simply one thread in the web of life. And I think that's a really important place because of how it centers us in our relationship with the livingness of the world. So let's name that as a colonial frame. The other piece about that is that if we are not seeing the world as alive, if we are not seeing the world as animistic, what's the alternative? The alternative is that we're seeing the world as dead. And from some of my other videos, you might know that that's not entirely the case. Because the opposite of living isn't dead. The opposite of living is, the opposite of living is machine. Because life and death are part of the same cycle. We can't have life without death, and we can't have death without life. So, the science perspective, the scientific perspective, the colonial perspective that tells us that the world is not animus, is not animated, is actually not telling us that it's dead. It's telling us that it's a machine, which means that there's another word that I learned from one of my teachers, Stephen Buhner. It's the opposite of anthropomorphism. It's mechanomorphism. It's turning the world into a machine. It's seeing everything as a function within a machine. And that is just not how life is. It just really isn't. So if we are not seeing the world as alive, if we are not doing this process, and I don't have another word that's better for anthropomorphizing except to see the world as alive, to see it as kin and related to us, you know. These are our relations here. All the web, all of the animals, the birds, the bugs, the plants, the mushrooms, they're all part of the web of life. They're all kin for us. And if we don't assert that, then we are accepting and passively asserting or passively relenting to mechanomorphism, to the insistence that the world is a machine, that life is actually just some sort of green machine. And it's really important for who we are, for the resource that we feel, the connection that we can feel, and the resource that comes from that when we remember we're a part of the web of life. We need to call bullshit on mechanomorphizing the world. It's really essential to our healing, and it will change how you relate to the plants as you walk through the woods, as you walk down the beach, as you sit in your yard and follow an ant as it walks through the grass. All of that can change when you realize humbly, with humility, that all of those parts of the web of life are intelligent and beautiful and have something important to offer. And they are not there for us to simply dismiss and to put them in the background. So, to sum up, anthropomorphism needs a better word, but it's really just about seeing the world as alive, recognizing the truth of the world as alive. And it's really important in our decolonization work to be challenging that as often as we need to. So thank you very much for listening. If you like what I have to say, subscribe, click on the notification button there and you'll get more videos. Check out my website, livingmedicineproject.com, for other videos and blogs and stuff like that. I would love to hear your feedbacks and comments about this sort of thing and participating in this dialogue. So I'm Garlic. Talk to you next time.